Hello again, superstars. It's Aaron again. I'm all alone today. This is Super Hot Saga. That's right. This is the Super Pod Saga, the show you're listening to right now. The podcast where normally Tommy and I discuss a different video game topic every episode, and we discuss it all entirely in one breath, and then we're done. Then the show ends. But yeah, Tommy is still in Mexico. But yeah, we have some awesome guests here with us today. I'm so fucking terrible at solo hosting, so please excuse me. I have Andrew and Dylan with your friendly neighborhood gamers. How are you, fellas?
Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah, doing all right. Thanks for having us.
You bet. It's been a long time. We followed each other on Twitter for a long time now. I think since we started last year, maybe.
Yeah, since back when it was actually still Twitter.
Oh God, I still refuse to call it X. Never calling it X. Never.
So does pretty much everybody but Elon Musk. So
has anybody made a meme of X yet, where it's like that scene from Step Brothers where he's like, "I'll never call him Dad, not even if there's a fire," but like with Twitter and X. As far as that hasn't been a thing
seen
yet.
it, but yeah,
right? Sounds like an opportunity, right?
Fuck. Oh man, this is our chance. This is our time.
Write it down. After we finish this episode, it's going to be a race to see who can post that meme first. You know?
Launch it a podcast superstardom. Yeah, where can the people find you guys and your show, and what kind of games do you like and all that stuff?
Well, you can find us on Twitter, but also you can find us anywhere that you listen to podcasts, and we are also on YouTube, your friendly neighborhood gamers. So just look us up. Our website has everything all in one place. That's fngamers.com. So that's probably the easiest way to see what we're up to, keep up with us. We have a Discord server that we try to promote heavily and get people in there, because just with the state of social media, that's kind of the best place to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no rules, and I mean there are rules in Discord, but like less rules than there are on Twitter for sure.
Mm-hmm.
My God,
right?
Yeah, and theoretically, it's all people who are there, like on Discord, to hang out and talk about the same thing and be nice to each other, versus Twitter, where it's just a whole bunch of toxicity. So it's Twitter. So
like the Wild West fallout Wild West apocalypse that is Twitter. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Damn.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, same with our show, our website. You can find literally everything. superpodsaga.com, all of our social medias, including Discord as well too. Previous episodes, blog, all that stuff. Our Patreon too. If you like the show, become a patron. Help us out for $2 or $4 a month, whatever you choose. Yeah, our topic today. Oh man, the most addictive games. I've got some real fucking doozies on this list. I'm pretty notorious in our podcast for putting entirely too many hours into like really simple like $3 games, but
yeah. Aren't we all?
Yeah. Before we get to it though, we do the segment where normally Tommy and I we'll ask a question to our Discord and our Twitter related to the topic. Basically, what are some of those addictive games you've ever played? And yeah, normally Tommy and I take turns, but it's just me today, and I've had too much caffeine, so I'm jittery as fuck. Let's start with T-Town Twitter. Yeah, what are some of the most addictive games that you've ever played? Right off the bat, John comes out and says Vampire Survivors, holy shit, Tetris, Cold Sept Revolt, Splatoon, and Metroid Prime Pinball. I've never touched Metroid Prime Pinball.
Yeah, me neither.
Pinball's always a good time, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Michael Conde, whatever. One of them, for me, is definitely Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Game Pass grab bag. They say the ones that I always remember being so addictive was StarCraft and Civilization 3. Both those games I played so much that I also would sleep and dream I was playing it just to wake up and go back to playing it. That's I did that with Smash Bros. Ultimate. Honestly, I put a lot of hours into attempting to try to get good with Diddy Kong, but I still suck. I'm still bad at the game.
The struggle is real.
Civ is definitely that one where it's like just one more turn. I just need one more turn, and then 4 hours later. So
I'm really fucking bad at fighting games because like every other move, I'll do like a jump and then attack somebody, and people could see from a mile away, like, dude, stop, do something different, stop jumping and attacking.
Right.
Ooh, up next, we've got Chan, who says Castlevania Harmony of Despair, Final Fantasy XI, Blur, WrestleMania 2000, and 30 Days Jukebox in the Superpod Saga Discord. Man, sometimes I just fucking forget a day, the 30-day challenge. Sometimes I'll just forget a day and just not have a, yeah. Kevin Flevin, around the time Guitar Hero 1, 2, and 3 came out, I was hooked on them like goddamn crack. That's, yeah.
Yep.
Most accurate thing I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he changed his name. Holy shit. Monotone Gent is the monster, not the scientist. Does it involve moving folks or other representations of things on a grid? Odds are I've been enthralled by it. Fire Emblem, FF Tactics, Civilization, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
No doubt. Then we go to Discord. Here we go. Thrack says I'll be the first to say Tetris. Also, Picross. Fuck, not Piss Cross. God damn it, Picross. Is it pronounced Lumines or Luminous?
Luminous, I think.
I've heard it Luminous, but I also have only ever read the word myself. I've never tried to pronounce it, so
we'll go with Luminous. That sounds way fancier. And Hexic are addicting as well. I enjoy me a good puzzle game. Fuck yes, I fucking love puzzle games, boy. Holy shit. Bill, he says Dr. Mario Miracle Cure for the 3DS. I think I have over 1,000 hours sunk into that game. Holy shit, Bill.
Wow, that's a lot.
He also says RuneScape. God, I'm rubbing my eyeballs now. Holy shit, 1,000 hours into Dr. Mario Miracle Cure.
Is that the mobile game?
No, it's the one on 3DS.
Oh, 3DS. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Dang. Missing out on some Mario, apparently. Dr. Mario.
Pizza Dinosaur. He says Phantasy Star Online. Phantasy Star Online had a magnificent pull over me that's impossible to describe. As long as you had that cool GameCube keyboard controller, I bet so. Chan, Castlevania Harmony of Despair. I think just on Xbox 360, I probably have about 2,000 hours. Dude, holy shit.
Good lord.
Wow.
Once it came out a year later on PS3, I went back at it, played it with my friends, and we had LAN parties with it. It was awesome. Fuck.
That's a lot.
I can't think of any game I put 2,000 hours into. I played too much Smite, but I don't think I've gone above 1,000 hours ever. Man. Zodiac. Rome Total War was like crack. I've never played that or crack. Sorry. Getting to the end here, a few more. Nomad, he says The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim for me. It was so easy to jump into that game and just lose hours upon hours to following quest lines, exploring, looting, etc. I thought about it while I was working and did everything I could to make it through the workday so I could jump back into the game and go after the next thing. It was an amazing experience and hard to walk away from. Dude, yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Alejandro, this current year continues to be Wrestling Empire. No matter what I'm trying to currently focus on to play, I would always have some time to make for this crazy game, especially when several match types can create funny, memorable moments plus destructive. Is that the turn-based wrestling RPG?
Maybe.
It is not. God damn it, Pizza Dinosaur says again. Though in recent memory, it has to be Super Mario Maker 2. I spent over 1,200 hours in that game, and I only stopped because I reached the max of 100 courses made. Otherwise, I'd still be playing it. I still get the itch every so often, but I don't want to delete my old courses, so it has to remain what it is. Holy shit.
All 100 are worth keeping.
Oh, hey, our own Tommy himself, Judge Brett. He says Picross, Picross, Picross. Yeah, he does love Picross. Goddamn.
Don't you mean Piss Cross?
Yeah, yeah, Piss Cross. The Criss Cross parody band where like every song is a take on piss. I don't know any crisscross song. No, what's that famous crisscross song? The wiggity 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 whack one. Help me out, guys.
You're on your own. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know it either.
Let's look it up. Crisscross. Nope, I give up. What's the next one? No, that's it. I think that is it. Yep, that's it. So yeah, if anybody wants their answers right on the show, it'd be kind of a part of the show. Answer our tweet on Twitter. It'll never be called X. God damn it! Not even if there's a fire. And yeah, join our Discord and answer it there too. Same question, but let's fucking dive in head first. Let's mainline this shit. Which one of you guys wants to go first with your first addictive game?
I can start, I suppose. The first one I'll throw out there is Marvel Snap.
Ooh, well, god damn it! Tommy needs to be here for this. Son of a bitch, Tommy.
Yeah, I haven't played it as much recently, like probably in the last month or so. I think partly that's because there've been so many other games that have come out to take my time away, but it's still like a quick go-to, play a couple matches and be done. I play it every day at the very least, just maybe not as much as I was before. But for a while there, man, I was in deep. I was trying to hit infinite. I was trying to do all the conquest modes and do everything I could in that game, and was chasing the rewards, and it had its hooks in me for sure. Just the quick gameplay loop, and the fact that you're not committing to anything more than probably 3 minutes, maybe 5, for a match. It's like, it makes it real easy to just go back for one more. I'll just play one more, and you can play with one hand. It's great.
Use that other hand to shovel pistachios into your face or something.
Exactly.
I don't know what other people eat.
That is exactly what I was doing. How did you know? But yeah, no, that's the first one I'm going to throw out there.
Yeah,
that's the fact that it's on a mobile phone also doesn't help. Like, you always have your phone on you, therefore Marvel Snap is always on you. Like, you keep it on
always there
on one of those cool belt like cell phone holster things. You whip it out real fast. Yeah, hell yeah.
And at least like at the beginning, it had a lot of cool like combinations of things that you could do, like build decks, and like the unlock cycle was very good. And so it's like, okay, play a few games, get a new card, play, right. That was a lot of fun. Like, in more recent times, the meta has kind of solidified a little bit. There are enough cards out there where it's like, okay, like these are the top 3 decks this season, and if I can't make one of those, I'm kind of just playing random trash. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like, it's a very solid game just in general, and then they've done so much to make it like easy to get into and quick and fun. So
hell yeah, card games are always so fucking addictive. I really debated putting a card game on my list, but I've talked about any ones that I would have put on here. I've already talked about on the show like 5 more times. So I was like, no, Aaron, no, pick something else. There's gotta be other games you're addicted to. Yeah, I gotta keep my addiction reined in. Fuck, I'll talk about it anyway. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh! Nut. I hate using meta bullshit, so I always lose against those fucking higher tier dickheads. But yeah. That's not a pick though. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Dylan, I think you're next, right?
Sure. Yeah. I will throw out there Diablo.
Damn.
The one that I have spent the most time in is Diablo 3. Like, I there's something about that loop where it's just kind of like, you go in, you run a dungeon, or you run a rift, or you run like you explore the world and do a bunch of stuff and complete some quests and or bounties in Diablo 3, and then you get a bunch of loot, and then you sort through your loot to see what's good and what's garbage. Most of it's garbage, but like you're kind of chasing the slightly better numbers that give you a slight little incremental thing so that you can do content slightly harder. But it's just a lot of fun. Like, it's a cool, like, kind of shut your brain off and just like run around and have fun for me type of game. like I said, Diablo 3 has been the one I've spent the most time in. It's also probably the game that I have purchased the most amount of times. Like I got it when it came out on PC, and then when it came out on like Xbox, I got it on like Xbox 360, and then they released like the expansion Ultimate Edition on Xbox
Oh, yeah.
One, and so I picked that up. And you know, I've got it on Switch now too. Switch is my favorite way to play it because it's just so convenient. But yeah, Diablo keeps me hooked. Just with that, I don't know, like going from zero to hero and in pretty short amount of time. And at least in Diablo 3, it gives you a very good, like, I like doing the seasons, and so it gives you a bunch of like little objectives that you can be working towards. So it's not like you're just running around for the sake of it. It's like, okay, I'm doing this to try to like unlock this next objective. And so, but yeah, a lot of fun, put a lot of hours into it.
In those games, I really love experimenting with new characters. I think, with 3, they just had like the runes that you alter your main abilities with, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I one of my favorite really wonky characters to play in Diablo 3 was the Witch Doctor, because
that's my favorite. I love the Witch Doctor so much. So
what were the runes for his first ability? Wasn't it like, doesn't it start off as a blow dart, and then you can throw a jar of spiders, and like I forget what the other ones were.
Yeah, like it's a blow dart, a jar of spiders. I don't know that I ever got past the jar of spiders because that one was just so cool. I think you could make like a giant frog, but it's I forget where exactly all of those fit in, like, because they had them separate into categories, but then I turned off like having to use one per category and just was like, I'll just do whatever I want, don't tell me what to do.
Fuck
and
you,
so
game.
I would just have like a bunch of like the Witch Doctor does a lot of like summoning, and so I'd have just like an army of minions surrounding me as I just kind of steamrolled through whatever level I was on. So
hell yeah. I'm still hooked on well, no, I shouldn't say still hooked, because I stopped for a few months on Diablo 4. But I just got back onto it now, like, they have all the vampire shit. And
same.
Fuck, and they make you start a new character, so I'm hooked on the rogue and like trying to figure out a cool build for him. But barrage, rapid fire, hell yeah.
I've been having a lot of fun with Diablo 4 this year. So I played like when it came out for like a month solid, and then took some time off, like played a little bit of the first season, but pretty much like accomplished all of the stuff that it was realistic for me to accomplish. And so I was like, okay, take a couple months off. And so I've just recently started back up with this new season to, you know, have a little fun in it. So
hell yeah. Well, I'm going to start my list off with, I mentioned I really love getting hooked on cheap games, and it's Evolings. It's $8 on Switch, $5 on PC, and oh my god, it's essentially Slay the Spire meets Pokemon, kind of. So it's like a roguelike creature catcher, kind of almost. So when you start off, you only have access to like 3 different types of Evolings, which are the creatures that you can capture and fuse together and shit. You only have Space, Candy, and what's the other one? There's Peppermint, he's Candy. Sparkle is Space. Oh, Slime. Slime is the other one, because you get Blob. Then yeah, you basically, it'll have like a Slay the Spire style map that you traverse, and there'll be different icons for different things. Like there'll be one that's like an angry face, and that's an enemy encounter. There'll be a question mark, which could be like anything. It could be an enemy encounter, could be a store, slot machine, anything really. And then of course, there's one for a slot machine, $. There's a store, there's all sorts of other shit. You'll start off with your Evolings at like, they're just like level, or I guess they're not even levels. They start off really weak, and then you fight enemies, get money. There'll be tiles you'll come across to where you can evolve your team and have them gain like a certain amount of attack or defense or health. You know, slowly beef those little bastards up. And every so often you'll come across like a question mark tile where you can teach them a new ability, which is pretty cool. And then you'll get more Evolings by landing on more spaces, or if you have an item I think it's just called like a jar, you just throw a jar at an enemy and you can capture them. And then oh my god, and then you can fuse Evolings together. Like if you have what is it, like 3 peppermints, or like this is gonna sound so fucking boring and stupid to you guys, I apologize. If you can fuse two two blobs and a slurp. You can use 2 peppermints and a frosty. Oh man! But my fucking favorite Evoling so far is one that's called Candy Cane. That's what you get when you fuse 3 peppermints together. Then he just whoops ass, and and there's multiple different types of Evolings as well too. Kind of like with Pokemon, they all have their different weaknesses and strengths, and like some even have passive abilities. So yeah, there's Candy, Slime, Space, Fire, Demon, Magic. I'm forgetting one, but fuck it. And yeah, some of them have different like passive abilities. Like my boy Peppermint, his what is it? It's like hit or miss. He has an increased chance to score a crit, but he also has an increased chance to miss. And then you'll also collect different what are called artifacts, which are just relics like from Slay the Spire, and they'll have different passive abilities. Like what is it? There's one called like the Stacking Cups, which makes it so like any ability that does like a stacking I guess status effect will do 50% more stacks, and there's all sorts of other stuff. So you can really, really easily break the game. There's, oh my god, one of my favorite runs ever. I had this one Evoling called Terra. It was just like this little Earth. It was just like a little Earth spinning around, and had this ability called Moon Shield, which makes it so that like I can put it on anyone in my party, and the next attack against them would be nullified. But oh my god. Then there's this other Evoling called Voodoo, which is just a voodoo doll, and he has an ability called Soul Link, where like anything that happens to the voodoo doll will happen to whoever they're linked to. So I oh my god, I had 2 voodoo dolls, I had 1 Terra. I linked the 2 dolls together, linked one link to the Terra. Basically, I made my entire party invincible, and I just beat the shit out of anything because I didn't take any damage. The game is super fun, super cool to come back to every single fucking run and discover new Evolings, fuse more Evolings together to create other cool shit that I've never found before, and just different ways to break the game. It's like I said, it's cheap as shit. $5 on Steam, $8 or $8.99 or whatever on Switch, and it's super good. I definitely recommend it if you like Pokemon or Slay the Spire or both.
Yeah, nice. I might have to check that out.
If you do, set aside a good amount of time because you'll be
right.
Well, hopefully I hope you'd get hooked on it because I sure have. What's what else are you hooked on, Andrew? Or were you hooked on, I should say?
Yeah, so this one was definitely one I was hooked on back when it first came out, and I'm going to go with the first game because there's actually 2 in the series, but the first one did this system first, and it was the first time we all got to experience it, and I could just play with the Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor for hours, just going through and killing captains, turning orcs against each other, winning them over. Just that system is so much fun and so cool, and had that it factor that made it so addicting. It's really a shame that we haven't seen it used. I mean, I don't want it to be overused and abused in like every game, but
yeah,
even if we just got another one of the Shadow of Mordor games, I'd be happy with that. But yeah, that first game really fully like understanding and figuring out what that system would allow you to do and how it would affect all of the other orcs and the state of the world and everything else. It was so much fun.
Oh yeah. That game almost made my list for the exact same reason, because it's just like to be fair, like I love Lord of the Rings and I enjoyed like just exploring that world and going through the story, but like it's still installed on my system because I like occasionally just jumping in there and like just messing around, like go do all of the sort of random little orc events and just kind of like pull the strings and try to turn this entire section into my like all orcs that are on my side or whatever, like it's a ton of fun. So
I've been meaning to go back and replay the second game, but this year's been so busy with new games coming out that I haven't gotten around to it. But I do have it installed on my PlayStation currently because I've felt the itch to go back to that loop.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been debating on it too, but I never beat the first game because there was just one orc that I could not fucking kill because he was immune to like everything, and I was like, fuck this game. Like no matter where I went, this motherfucker would just come out of nowhere and whoop my ass because I couldn't do anything. It was like he was immune to being stunned. He was immune to ranged attacks. He was immune to melee or something stupid. So it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to kill this guy? Like, unless there's a fucking cliff to knock him off of. It's supposed to be like the end of fucking JoJo Part 2 where he drops into a volcano and gets launched in space. Like, I can't do that shit, dog. That's a pretty dumb reference.
Well, knowing the game too, like you'd kill that orc finally and he would just like show back up missing like half his face or whatever, and it's just like, I'm back now, I'm also immune to whatever you did to
kill me. The wind doesn't even affect me. I don't breathe. God damn it. What do you got next, Dylan? What are you breathing? I don't know how to segue that.
Yeah. The next one I'll toss out is Monster Hunter.
Fuck. That's good.
Specifically like Monster Hunter World for me personally, but just Monster Hunter in general. I love those games now. Monster Hunter World was my first one, and so it's kind of still like the one that is my go-to. But I've played like a bunch of the other ones too, and have had a lot of fun with them. There's something just kind of about that loop of like, okay, you know, here you're going to start off like in Monster Hunter World. It's like, go kill this giant iguana. And it's like, okay, I can do that. And so you like, you know, fight a big giant iguana. And you finally kill it. And it's like, okay, now you can make like a new weapon and new armor out of that iguana you just killed. And that helps you go fight the next thing that we want you to
the
fight,
next big iguana.
Exactly. Like this one's a big iguana, but it breathes fire now, and so, or, you know, like yeah, exactly. And so it slowly kind of like works its way up, and so it's so cool to like Monster Hunter World. I thought was a gorgeous looking game. I still do. And the sort of like boss battle combat that is that game, I really enjoyed, and sort of the like, okay, hey, we're going to drop you onto this map. You have to like go track down where this monster is on the map, go find it using like clues on the map, and then, you know, fight it until it's dead, or until you can capture it. And then like that loop of like, hey, here's a new monster, learn its moves, beat it. And then you get to go back and see like what all the cool armor and stuff is. And then, you know, you slowly keep like stepping up until you're fighting like this, you know, massive world ending dragon or something like that. And so it's just a lot of fun. I enjoy it so much. There's so much that you can like, I put like 200 something hours into that game the year it came out. And like right up until the end, it's still like introducing like, hey, here's a new system or mechanic that you can now use. And like it's hard to get bored. There's like 12 or 14 different weapons that you can like weapons classes that all play a different way. And so it's like, okay, if I get bored of using this sword, there's like 13 other weapons that I can try out and, you know, find a different play style that works for me. So had a lot of fun with it. So
I love Monster Hunter so much. I've been a Switch Axe main since Monster Hunter 4, but I still like when I started World, I started using the hammer and that was really good. And then Rise, I started using the gun lance and that turned out pretty good. I love like starting a new game and then trying out a new class and then just switching it up every so often. And those games are so fucking good.
Yeah, I think I played through World as Switch Axe, and then when Iceborne came out, I played through Iceborne as Insect Glaive.
That's a good one too.
Had a lot of fun with that one too. So, and then I've been enjoying Rise. I think I still personally like World a little bit better, but there's a lot of cool stuff in Rise I've been having a lot of fun with. So,
absolutely. I don't know what to pick for my next one because I put entirely too much good shit into my list, but fuck, let's go with Overwatch 1 because man, I was I was super addicted to that game. I think I bought it the year after it came out when it was on sale on Black Friday for like it was like $20, and I was that's all I played for the longest time was Overwatch. And I would come home for lunch, like on my lunch break at work, and I would play like 2 matches while eating a sandwich, and then go back to work and just like think about, oh fuck, I need to go back home now. I need to go back, and there's a lot to love about the game. Like probably one of the coolest parts for me was learning new characters and trying to get better at them. Like I love Mei. I'll never stop playing Mei, but like sometimes I just want to play Genji. Like Genji looks cool, but I love Mei way too much. And then the loot boxes in the first game were so fucking good. They're kind of I guess frowned upon now, but like the loot boxes in the first game were super rad because one, you didn't have to pay for them. You got them every time you leveled up, and they very, very frequently had like double XP weeks or weekends or like during events and shit like that. So you get hella loot boxes, and you had a pretty decent chance of getting like a legendary skin or a cool emote or a victory pose. I don't care about sprays, honestly, but yeah, the game is just such a good. And then when you get a bunch of friends together and you strategize, like, okay, I'll be tank, you guys, one person's a healer, one person's mercy. Like, hey, let's go in on this shit. Let's get that fucking point, boy, or something like that. It's such a good like. Two's still pretty good. It sucks sometimes, but like I was just really really hooked on the original version of Overwatch.
Yeah, and all of the characters have such personality to them, so like that's always just a really cool like aspect of that game for me. So I never got like sucked in to it, but I'm also not generally sucked in hugely by like first person shooters. But like every time a new character would come out, I was always like watching their cutscene because I couldn't wait for like that. So
like they keep adding newer characters that have really fucking cool mechanics too. Like one of my favorite, I think she is the newest one. It's Alara. What is it? So she's a healer and she's got this cool like rail gun like for her main fire. Her secondary fire fires like a healing beam at allies, but she also has this really sweet, it's called a healing pylon, and you can throw it at like a wall and it'll stick to a wall. You can throw it at the fucking payload and then it'll stick to the payload. You can just throw it and it'll stick to whatever it hits. And then it just stays there and it'll periodically heal allies. It's so fucking cool. Like,
oh, nice.
To just get it in really stupid spots that enemies can't hit. Like, oh man. Yeah, that's cool.
For sure.
Speaking of stupid spots, I don't know. Never mind. What's next for you, Andrew?
Let's see. Going off of stupid spots, a game that I put a ton of time into across Xbox 360 and the Xbox One is Grand Theft Auto 5. And specifically the online mode. It's a time in my life, for one thing, where I just had that core group of friends and just had the free time to basically every day after work or before work, depending on what, the shift I was working, it was like hop on GTA Online. There was always going to be somebody else you could just hop in a party with and go drive around, rob convenience stores. We were always like dreaming about the day they would finally release heists, and then they did, and we did all the heists, and it was just such a special kind of moment in gaming because we hadn't really had anything like that, especially in the console space. And the leap from the Grand Theft Auto 4 online, that was just kind of like, yeah, you can all kind of hop into a world and goof off, but there's not really anything to do, to what they did in GTA 5. And then how they just continued to add content, and the fact that they're still adding content, it's crazy. I haven't played it in a while, but man, I'm curious how many hours I put into the online mode. I don't actually have that stat on me right now, but it has to be hundreds for sure. We're always playing it. So, and you said stupid places. The world of Grand Theft Auto is just ridiculous. So
yes.
Fucking like Cluck and Bell and what's the pizza stack? What the fuck's the pizza place called? I forget. Stupid name.
Remember.
It's like pizza
everything
stack.
has a goofy parody name like that.
Yep. Man, yeah, that is a really fucking good Oh man, and then they added the motorcycle gangs and the CEO business bullshit, and it was cool to like you and your buddies get your own little like motorcycle club hangout shed, or like your own little I guess like office in like this big fucking skyscraper, and it's like, oh dude, like we made it, we really made it, or whatever. It's like it's cool to
you
goof
could run a
around.
nightclub. What else did they add? You had like an underground submarine base or whatever that they added.
Gun running or whatever.
Those incredibly fucking huge underground bunkers that had like the little they weren't golf carts. I don't know what the fuck you would call them. Those little like cars that you drive on like airplane runways.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Speaking of good, what do you got for us, Dylan?
The next one that I will throw out there is Control.
Ooh, okay.
I had heard good things about Control, but I didn't play it like right when it came out. I think I played it maybe that following year. And once I started that game, I had I couldn't put it down. Like I wanted to keep seeing where everything was going. I loved the story, and I loved exploring that world and finding all of the little like lore bits and side like collectible things that it would tell you like, oh, here's like this fridge that someone has to be looking at all times, or like it'll eat people or whatever. And just like all of the weird little stuff like that, I loved finding out about all of that. And the game itself just played really well. Like it was it came out that same year as the first Jedi Fallen Order. And like the thing at the time was like, yeah, like they did the Force better than Jedi Fallen Order did. And I kind of agree with that. I still think Fallen Order is a fantastic game, but Control, like just sort of levitating around using Jesse's cool like gun that could change modes, using like all of these, I forget what they called them, but essentially Force powers to like throw things and shoot, like catch bullets and like shoot them back, I think, and like all of that kind of stuff was a whole lot of fun. And like I said, just exploring that world, like that world was so interesting to me. And so like once that story got rolling, I was like, I need to know how this goes. I need to know how this finishes. And so it was like every night straight until I beat that game. That was what I was doing, was playing that game. So
God damn it, I need to play that game. Has it ever been on Game Pass?
I don't know if it was ever on Game Pass, but it goes on sale. Like every time there's like, Black Friday, it's on sale pretty frequently. It might be on sale now because Alan Wake just came out. And it's like the same studio. So they may be selling that to kind of like, oh, you liked Alan Wake? Check out this game.
I think PlayStation might have given it away with like their PlayStation Plus free games at some point too.
Oh, it's only $30. Yeah, it's only $30. Hell yeah! I've been meaning to buy that game because I've played and loved Alan Wake. I'm like I guess like one of two people in the world who have played Quantum Break. Like, yeah, Control does sound cool. Like I've heard Tommy talk about it, and he talks about how like ambiguous everything is. Like you never know what the fuck is happening, and that sounds rad as hell. But adding it to the cart right now. There we go. Well, we'll do one more. We'll do an ad break. No, we'll do an ad break. Do you guys want to do an ad break?
Sure.
Cool. All right, we'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, Super Potters? Tommy here. I just want to give a big shout out to our patrons. They are all wonderful, stand-up fellows. Thank you, Adam, Jameson, Jared, and A Novel Console for your support. It genuinely means the world to Aaron and I to have such handsome, talented patrons. And I truly believe the universe will reward you in some karmic way for being a patron to Super Pod Saga. Thank you.
It's really important to stay hydrated. They say to drink 8 to 10 cups of water per day to stay properly hydrated, but sometimes that can be difficult to do and completely inconvenient, and most of us don't feel like carrying a gallon of water with us at all times. But that's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand fueling your well-being, and their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Use it first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, after a long night out, or on long flights. Man, in Iowa, the summers can be brutal. 90 degrees and tons of humidity, and that just saps the energy and water right out of your system within just a few minutes. Luckily, Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. It's very important to replace those electrolytes, you know? And I just love how quick and easy it is to use Liquid IV. You just get one packet and a bottle of water, and you just pour that packet into the bottle of water, shake the heck out of it, and bam, you are good to go. Since using Liquid IV, I felt way more alert, active, and just plain better versus drinking water alone. My favorite flavors to go to are the Yuzu Pineapple Energy Multiplier and the Tropical Punch Hydration Multiplier. I can't get enough of those ones. And what makes them even better is, like I mentioned earlier, they're packed with 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. And again, 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. And they're non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy, which is just great. So you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code SUPERPODSAGA at checkout. That's 20% off anything when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code SUPERPODSAGA, SUPERPODSAGA at liquidiv.com. You have a great one, superstars. If you're a fan of coffee and you're looking for something different, I think we've got just the thing for you. That's Bones Coffee. Bones Coffee is not your usual coffee company. Of course, it's all sugar-free, gluten-free, all that stuff, because it's just coffee, nothing added to it. But they roast each batch of coffee beans to your order, and they've got just a bazillion different flavors to choose from. They've got your usual French vanilla, salted caramel, they've got Irish cream, of course they've got decaf, single origin coffees like Kenya, Guatemala, stuff like that, even what they call high voltage, which is extra strength, extra caffeine. But they have all sorts of other awesome kind of out of the box flavors. They've got ones like cotton candy, maple bacon, and even mint chocolate chip ice cream. And they're always coming up with new crossover flavors, like they've done a bunch for Nightmare Before Christmas, Indiana Jones, even Spider-Man, of all things. And they're also coming up with new seasonal flavors all the time. If this sounds right up your alley, feel free to use the link in our episode description and use coupon code SUPERPODSAGA at checkout to get 20% off your order. That's SUPERPODSAGA at checkout to get 20% off your order. And if you're not just in the market for coffee, you can also get some sweet mugs. They've got lots of cool shirts. They've got all sorts of different brewing equipment like French presses, stuff like that. Just head on over to bonescoffee.com, or again, use the link in our episode description and get 20% off. Get yourself a new interesting flavor and spice up your morning routine with Bones Coffee. I really hope you enjoy. I'm a really big fan of it, and I hope you find one that really hooks you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one.
Hey there, Super Potters! You may be wondering how Aaron and I, bumbling idiots that we are, managed to record, edit, and distribute our world-class podcast, The Super Pod Saga. The answer, dear listeners, is Zencastr. Let me tell you more. It is so easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen Knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. It's an all-in-one service! If you have thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute it to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use my code SuperPodSaga and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
Do you guys enjoy lava lamps? Are you lava lamp aficionados?
I've had a lava lamp in my lifetime, and I think they're pretty cool.
Not good enough. What about you, Dylan?
I also had a lava lamp. I kept it on my desk at work until it stopped working. I don't know why it stopped working. It just kind of all like floated at the top, and it was disappointing.
Well, I'm about to make lava lamps even better for you. You thought lava lamps were cool. Introducing drinkable lava lamps. That's right. You can. These are lava lamps that you can unscrew the top of and pour virtually any liquid into. I wouldn't suggest gasoline, but you can pour gravy in there. It's just water if you want, some Gatorade, whatever. It'll float. It'll do whatever a lava lamp normally does and more because you've got those electrolytes in there. You pour motor oil in there. Well, no, I guess that would probably catch fire. Who cares? Pour motor oil in there. It'd be cool. What liquids do you suggest our listeners put into their drinkable lava? Well, no, it's drinkable, so you don't want to drink motor oil. But you could.
No.
You could.
Not recommended.
Maybe you're a robot secretly. So.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg.
Right?
He's smoking some meats in his backyard or whatever the fuck that video was. Jesus Christ. What?
Drinks motor oil out of his lava lamp.
Right.
He shows up to a Facebook or Meta convention or whatever the fuck, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" He's just got this lava lamp in his fucking hand. He's taking swings out of. Holy shit!
Yes.
What liquids do you guys like to drink out of your drinkable lava lamp?
Like a healthy mixture, I would say, of a Coca-Cola and a rum, right?
Ooh.
So the floating with like sort of the lava liquid floating in there, it's gives
like
it a
boba.
little like gives it an interesting consistency.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of drinking eggnog out of mine personally.
Oh my god, yes. It's gotta have the little moose antlers like toward the top.
Yeah, exactly. You could picture it.
I'm just picturing Cousin Eddie holding the drinkable lava lamp with antlers at the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of just pouring straight vodka into that thing and then giving it a good swirl, like a good James Bond swirl, and then just blasting it, just chugging the shit out of it, and then I'll just die.
Yeah.
What
a way to go.
Sterilizes it too, so
that's true, yeah. Or you could boil it first too, boil it on the stove, watch all that cool wax or whatever the fuck the lava lamp liquid is, watch all that rise to the top and then fall down, and then you just fucking chug it. It's great. Better than boba. Hey, thanks, drinkable lava lamps. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. Say thanks, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I think we're back. Yeah, we're back. Let me check my pulse real quick. Hang on. I had too much lava lamp this weekend. I gotta check my pulse. Yeah, we're for sure back. Okay.
Yeah,
Ringing endorsement.
Yes, I sent you that whole case, and you just had to get through them.
Holy fuck, case of lava lamps. Oh my god. Okay. Who? I think it was it?
I think I had just gone. I just talked about Control, so I think it was you.
Man, I can't pick one. Oh, fuck it. We'll go with Triangle Strategy because man, there's a lot that I really love about this fucking game. So, I guess first off, the story is really fucking good. It's got a super slow start that like turned me off for a while. Like I bought the game when it came out, and then the start was like super slow. Like for every 7 fucking story scenes, you had like 1 combat, and I just got really, really bored. Then picked it back up, got past all that slow, boring bullshit at the beginning, and it got really fucking good. Essentially, there's like 3 big countries in this one little continent. You know, Hyzant, Holy State of Hyzant. What the fuck's the snow one? I forget. And then Wolfort. And basically, they're constantly fighting for control over something. Like Hyzant produces all the salt for the world, which is an incredibly valuable resource. That's how basically you preserve your food. It's good for other shit. I forget. And then the snowy place. I forget the name of it. Was it the domain of something? They basically mine all of the iron and like ores and shit for the world. And the Wolfort is just like they have this big, I guess, trading empire, whatever. But the story gets really fucking good there toward the middle. There's lots of different choices you could make with the story that in turn have different like branching paths that you can take in the story. Like there'll be points where you and your party will vote for something. Like it'll be how do we attack these guys? You know, do go stealthily on a ship or just barge right through their front gate or whatever. And then you'll come across different circumstances and different battles that you wouldn't have in other playthroughs. And the characters are super cool because unlike say like Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy Tactics, where each character is just like a random, I guess every character is their own generic fucking class. Like you have all your cavaliers, you'll have like 15 priests, 15 mages. In this game, like each character is part of like a centralized class kind of, because you do have mages, you do have archers, you do have like warriors, but each character plays substantially different from everybody. Like one of my favorite characters, Archibald, he's an archer, and yeah, go with the name. And he plays, what is it? His unique thing is that the farther away that he is from an enemy, the more damage he's gonna do, and he's super duper fucking accurate. But yeah, he's gotta be way fucking back. Another archer that you get, oh fuck, what is her? I forget her name, but she's like any enemy she kills, she'll have a chance to steal an item from or like take spoils or whatever the fuck, and she has like a fire arrow attack and stuff like that. And then you have your there's like 3 different kinds of healers, and they're all super unique. Like the first one you get, Gala, she's just your usual on foot with a staff priest with just your healing magic and some buffs and shit like that. Then there's like Hasabara, she's on a horse, so she has more movement speed, but she only has 1 healing spell. It heals in this like adjacent area, so like any adjacent allies they'll be healed by her, but she also does some pretty good damage in combat. And then Medina, she's better with, she doesn't have any magic at all, but she's really good with healing items. Like she can throw them farther than anybody. She heals more HP with healing items than other people, and she can also heal like some MP or TP or whatever it's called. And man, and it's so cool to, like, every time you level up somebody's weapon, was it their weapon class or their weapon ability or whatever, you unlock new little passive bonuses for them as well too. And fuck, it's just, the story gets really fucking insane. And I definitely wasn't expecting it to be as good, because I was kind of disappointed by the original Octopath Traveler. But yeah, Triangle Strategy, if you haven't played it, if you can get past the slow fucking start, it's good. It's good eating.
Yeah, that tends to be a problem with games I don't want to say in that genre, but that kind of long RPG and even tactics games, you know, like the Fire Emblems and stuff, they're so long that a lot of times the beginning can be pretty slow.
Sometimes the maybe not once you get your guys all powered up, but sometimes the combat can take a while too, because it's not like Fire Emblem where a crit can just like one hit an enemy. There's dudes that all, like the main bosses will take they're big huge damage sponges, and they'll take a lot of hits to kill, but it's great. I don't know why it hasn't come to like Xbox or PS5 yet, because it would look fucking great in 4K. All that 2D or HD 2D gorgeousness that it has would look great in 4K.
It's just on the Switch and PC.
Yeah. Oh, it's on PC?
Is it? I don't know. I just
Triangle
assume those
strategy?
two always go together.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it's
it's on
both.
Steam. Yeah. Holy
And
shit.
what's that other game that does the same sort of art style?
Octopath.
Yeah, like it's come to Xbox and
it did,
PlayStation,
yeah.
I think. So I wouldn't be shocked if Triangle Strategy also ended up there eventually.
Yeah, fuck, if it's on PC, it's got to be coming to everything else pretty damn soon. What I don't know, a good segue. Andrew.
That works.
That'll work. The next game I'm going to talk about is Sekiro.
Ooh, okay.
And I could lump a lot of the From Software games in there. Probably neck and neck with Sekiro is Bloodborne, but I think there's just something about the Sekiro combat specifically that I find fun and addicting in the way that in the beginning you're trying to learn it and figure out how it functions, and then once you kind of unlock that ability and you figure out the flow of combat and that you are rewarded for being hyper aggressive and that it's kind of like a rhythm game in the way that you have to do your attacks and parries and dodges and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Once you kind of unlock it and you hit like a certain level of skill, then you really only have to struggle with bosses. Like you can kind of just blitz through the levels and take out the smaller enemies like a real shinobi warrior would, and it's so satisfying. Sekiro being probably one of the most linear From Software games, and then also being more action focused and just shorter in length in general also makes it a little bit more appealing to like replay and revisit and go back to. So it's just one that the loop and the combat specifically I just find very satisfying and addicting.
Oh yeah, it's I will segue for you, Aaron, because that leads straight into my next one that I was going to talk about, which I just kind of bundled pretty much all the From Software games into one. But Elden Ring was kind of like the one that I pulled out to talk about. But really, all of them, I'm like, they are so good at creating worlds that are interesting to explore, that feel like they have consequences while you are exploring them. And just like the combat and gameplay of the games is so solid that getting to that next boss and learning, their moves and finally, like beating them, a lot of times after several attempts is just so rewarding. And kind of that loop of like, okay, I'm going to go, explore this new area, figure out, like pick up all of the random crap that's laying around on the ground, and then eventually get to a boss where I'm going to like get in there, figure out, okay, like, a lot of times their first attempt against a boss is just like, oh, okay, that punch will one shot me. And then, eventually you learn how to dodge everything or block everything and eventually take down that boss. And that sort of hit of dopamine that you get is so nice. And so Elden Ring I threw out there just because like I love that game so much. I love all of their games, but Elden Ring is so cool. I've been playing through it again recently, where I've just been like, I'm using a walkthrough this time to try to like get everything and see everything, because I've put hundreds of hours into that game already. And on this playthrough, there's still areas that I'm exploring for the first time because I never knew they were there. And so it's just it's a really cool game. And I could say that about like all of From Software games. Sekiro's at the bottom of my list. I did not enjoy that.
Just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, I did have to throw that out there because it's my least favorite. But all of their games are fantastic.
I like that you guys brought up, like, we're getting into difficult games now that have that addictive, whatever. Segue into my game, Shin Megami Tensei 4. It's not a FromSoft game, but god damn it, is it difficult. And fuck, have you guys ever played a main series Shin Megami Tensei game?
I have not, no.
I have not. It's based in what, like the same universe sort of as Persona?
Persona spun off of it, I think.
Yeah.
It's
so I've played some Persona, but I've not played Shin Megami Tensei.
Okay, so yeah, they kind of borrow a lot of the same mechanics a little bit. So So yeah, I guess Shin Megami Tensei 4 takes place in this like a post-apocalyptic Tokyo. It's been overrun by demons, and God, being a dickhead like he is, he's basically closed off Tokyo in this big earthen dome called the Firmament. And then I guess the main thing with the game is that everybody down in Tokyo, they're constantly fighting for their lives. There's demons fucking everywhere, and they're constantly still pouring through. And so any combat encounter that you come across, unless you're like ridiculously over level or playing New Game Plus, any combat encounter could be your last, and kind of like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
The boss encounters are definitely where the game gets really fucking difficult. Like the very first boss encounter you come across is this Minotaur demon, and it's this perfect like tutorial of like basically teaching you how you should come across fighting bosses. It's going to beat your ass the first maybe like 1 or 2 times, again, unless you're playing New Game Plus or something and you already know what to do. But it's really great to how the fuck do I explain it? You'll get your ass handed to you a couple times until you learn like what kinds of attacks they're going to use, what they're weak against, and anything else you might need to beat them. And then you'll have this I guess like rhythm of knowing. Well, I guess first you'll have to make your perfect party of demons, which kind of like the Persona fusion and shit like that in Persona games. But in Shin Megami Tensei, your party is just you, the playable character, and then there's 3 demons that you'll have. And basically, what is it in combat? You can talk to demons, and you can either have them give you money, have them surrender and the battle will end, have them give you items, or you can talk to them and convince them to join you, which is how you get new demons to join your party. And the more demons you get, you can fuse them together to make bigger, more powerful demons. Then usually you'll want to level them up till they learn all of their abilities and hit what I call the plateau. And then you'll fuse them together and make this uber powerful demon and pick like mix and match different skills from each demon that you fuse them together with.
Kind of like a Pokemon sort of like sort of Pokemon, but not quite.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're basically breeding the perfect demon because you'll want you can make one that's great at healing. You can make one that's great at like dishing out fire damage, or one that's better just doing non-elemental like physical attacks and shit. And yeah, that's a big part of what makes the boss encounters so satisfying is learning what they're gonna do, building the perfect demons to work around them, and the game relies very heavily on buffs and debuffs, unlike Pokemon though, because but you can either buff the fuck out of your defense and then debuff the enemy's attacks, so you always have at least some kind of edge over them, or increase your evasion. And another big thing with combat too is that anytime you strike an enemy's weakness or get a crit, you'll get an extra turn. In those turns, of course, you want as many as possible to either do more damage or get a turn to throw out like a buff or heal somebody. And then there's also like enemies can also, they can either absorb damage of a certain type, repel it, or just straight up block it. So a lot of enemy encounters will be learning different weaknesses, and of course the game like stores that information for you in like a little Pokedex style kind of way. And
as is tradition.
Exactly. But it's so much fun to just learn how the bosses work, and then beat their ass after getting your ass handed to you like 4 times, then move on to the next one, and then also keep fusing demons together and filling up your compendium, which is the demon Pokedex. And the story is also super rad too. It's not like Persona where it's like a different thing every time, because mainline Shin Megami Tensei games, God is always going to be the final boss, depending on what route you take, I guess. Because if you go the neutral route, you'll fight God. Chaos, you fight Lucifer, or like I think Merkaba is the law, whatever. Shin Megami Tensei is good, is where I'm getting at. And if you haven't played it and you like Pokemon and hard games, I would absolutely suggest it if you have like a Switch, or I don't know if Soul Hackers is like Shin Megami Tensei. I've played like the first Soul Hackers. I don't know if Soul Hackers 2 was like it though. But
yeah,
check them out.
Cool.
That's me.
That's you. Do Pokemon players typically like hard games? I don't know if those two things go together, but
Shots fired.
I don't know. The competitive Pokemon is pretty fucking difficult. That shit is, I guess it's complex as hell. I guess it's less difficult, more complex as hell, and annoying. But
yeah, I could see that being the case. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice. So does that bring it back to me?
yes, sir.
Well, for my last game, I think we referenced it at the start of the show, or somebody that answered your question in Discord maybe brought it up, but Guitar Hero / Rock Band.
Nice.
And for me, like the one that defined my Guitar Hero era was Guitar Hero 3. I played that game so much that certain songs just didn't work anymore. I guess the disc had like just scratched or had a read error or whatever. There were a couple songs that if I selected them, the game would just like freeze up and break. And so I played
fuck?
I played that game like,
Does that actually happen?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There were like 2 tracks, I think, in like it wasn't the very last, because they broke it up into like groups of 4 or 5 songs as you progressed, and so it was like the second to last group of songs. There was a couple that if I tried to play them, the game would just like shut down.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I played a ton of that, and then coming off of Guitar Hero 3, that was when the like full band stuff started happening. Rock Band had come out, then we had Rock Band 2 and 3, and then Guitar Hero tried to play catch up and do their full band thing, and I had all of them. I had Guitar Hero Metallica, I had Guitar Hero Aerosmith, I had all the little side projects, Van Halen. I had Guitar Hero for my for my DS. I had the little attachment that you could stick in and play. Like
Did you play the mobile game?
I did try the mobile game. Yeah, I think I had that on like an iPod Touch or something at the time. So I had done it all, and Dylan and I and our friends and siblings and stuff, we would play Rock Band like 2 all the time when we were hanging out. That was just kind of the thing to do. It was the era of the plastic instruments, and it was a blast. Yep. If I totaled up all the time I had across all those games, it could be pushing 10,000 hours. I have no idea. It was a lot of time playing Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Those games were amazing, and I wish I still have Rock Band 4 and still played it relatively consistently up until probably a year or 2 ago or so. But like the instruments are just getting so old at this point, and they're so expensive to try to replace. Mm-hmm. I would just love for them to release some new instruments. Even I don't even really need a new game, because they're constantly putting out like DLC tracks in Rock Band, but it's just so hard to play now with the instruments getting so old.
It's in Microsoft's court now.
Well, that Guitar Hero is. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That is the sad truth. Those instruments getting so fucking old and so expensive. That sucks, man. Me too. Instruments. Me too. How about you, Dylan?
Well, talking about any list of addictive games, I would be remiss to not talk about Destiny 2. I am a big Destiny fan. I have been playing Destiny 2 off and on since sort of its beginning. Like I played it when it first came out. I came through the initial campaign that does not exist anymore, unfortunately. And like played through like maybe the first couple of seasons or DLCs that came out. Took some time off, and then like one of its new expansions was getting a ton of praise. I think it was like Scarlet Keep, or I forget exactly what it was called. And so I came back for that, and pretty much since then I've kind of just off and on like always been playing it. Especially recently, like the past people are not as big of fans as in this current like expansion, but like the previous 2 people were pretty big fans of. And so it's like an MMO first person shooter, which is a weird statement, but like I really enjoy the sort of PvE, like player versus environment stuff. Like I would play Call of Duty back in the day, but pretty much only for like the zombies mode, and trying to like do the Easter eggs and stuff. And so that is a lot of what this game is like, hey, like here is this dungeon or this raid that you have to go through, and you have to like kind of work together as a team to do not just like shooting. Like obviously there's a bunch of shooting because it's a first person shooter, but it's like you have to sort of solve these sort of puzzle elements and figure out what you're supposed to do to progress. And so I enjoy that a lot. And, you know, since it's a semi MMO, it comes with all of the MMO trappings of like right now there's a Halloween event going on, and, you know, so it's just a lot of fun, a lot of cool things. I still think that Bungie, in my opinion, puts out some of the best feeling like shooting in a game. Like just their movement, their weapons, all of that feels so good. I'm biased because that's coming from like playing a ton of Halo back in the day. It still just feels so good. Still is a lot of fun, and still definitely one of the games that I put the most time into because there's always something that you can be doing. And unlike a lot of MMOs out there that I've tried, this one lets you kind of pick what you feel like doing. Like it doesn't necessarily lock a bunch of stuff behind. Like there are some like weapons and armors and stuff that are locked specifically to like doing the hardest content. But for the most part, it tries to reward you and respect your time, which is not something MMOs are generally known for.
True.
So I appreciate that about it too. A lot of people call it like, you know, the dad's MMO, because it's like you can realistically make
MMOs.
Yeah, you can make progress realistically, even if you don't have a ton of time. And so I appreciate that about it too. So but I also like the story and kind of where it's going, even though it's fumbled a little bit here in the past year. But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. So
God damn it. Tommy loves Destiny. This is Tom. Why isn't Tommy here for this episode? He loves a lot of the shit that you guys have said. God damn it, Tommy.
Too much tequila.
He ate too many of those worms that you find in
The
bottles
worms,
of
yeah.
tequila. Just sucks the tequila out of them and then just. I haven't played a lot of Destiny 2, but I played a lot of the first Destiny. Like I played it until maybe like a year before Destiny 2 came out. So yeah, Destiny is good as fuck. I remember I was a barista at the time when I was playing the game. I worked at a Caribou Coffee. I don't know if you guys know the Midwestern area at all, or Caribou Coffee, but I kept like I kept talking to other people I worked with. I was like, dude, have you played Destiny? Have you played Destiny? It's like the new big thing. Have you played it? And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, well, you got to get it. Do you have an Xbox? You got to play it. I'll play with you. And fuck, yeah. Those games are so good. So, and of course, I've heard Tommy rant and complain a lot about Destiny 2. Because like, didn't they add like a shit ton of planets through side content and then took it all away? Was that what you were talking about earlier?
Yeah. So like they had been kind of like, essentially the game was just getting so large that it wasn't, they were struggling. It was built in such a way that there were some issues. And so a lot of the previous content, like they've officially come out and said like, we're not doing that anymore. But when one of their expansions called The Witch Queen came out, there was a lot of stuff that got removed from the game. And then there had been like previous content, like I think the original campaign and story got removed from the game first, and then when The Witch Queen came out, like the Forsaken expansion and a couple of the other like old expansions also got removed from the game essentially. And like I said, they were trying to like cut down on like just how ridiculously large the game had become. And also when you're trying to like push updates, you don't know how things are going to break. But at the same time, it sucks when cool stuff is removed. And so a lot of people were very upset about it. They are slowly kind of adding some of it back, but it's still like weird that the game that existed when it launched just doesn't exist anymore. So
That is super weird. What? I can't think of any other game that's done that before.
Yeah,
I mean, I
like,
guess
World of Warcraft is really the only other one that I can think of, and they had a very similar thing where they had an expansion come out that remade pretty much the entire game. So, and that is where a lot of people fell off, I think.
Yep.
I guess the same thing kind of went for Overwatch, because like when
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch 2 came out, it completely took over the original Overwatch. Like Overwatch 1 doesn't exist anymore. It's
Yeah.
only it's 2 or nothing, baby.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, people were not thrilled by that.
No, god man. Speaking of 2s, my last one is it's an older one, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, because I fucking love arcade puzzle games. So it's 1v1, a kind of almost fighting game because the characters fight, but you don't. It's not like a fighting game. Each character or each I guess player has a little table, and it'll from the top of the screen or no, from the bottom of the screen it'll no, it's at the top. Yeah, it's the top. You'll more gems will fall, and you have to line them up with the gems that are already on your table, and then the more gems you mix of the same color, the bigger they'll become, and become like these huge fucking ginormous gems. And every so often the game will drop, I forget what it's called. It's like a breaker or like a detonator or whatever. Basically it'll break whatever the color is of the detonator. It'll break all the gems of that same exact color that it's touching. And then depending on your character's counter pattern or counter pattern, it'll send gems basically to your opponent's side of the screen. Kind of like in Puyo Puyo or Tetris, like you'll fill your enemy's side with shit, and the goal is to try to fill up their screen so they lose. But the game has a couple different the game has a couple different play modes. Like there's the usual one that I just described. The Dreamcast version, which never came out in North America, which sucks because you can get like a fan translation patch for it. That's the way I do it. Don't tell people I emulate games, please. I don't want to go to prison. But they have an X and a Y mode, or no, they have X, Y, Z. X is the original version. Basically, Y is like columns where it'll drop. What is it? You can match gems in like a row, column, or diagonal. No, hang on. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then Z mode is like Puyo Puyo or whatever. I don't know, but the game is good. It's a fun game to play. I love puzzle games, and like the little deformed versions of like Street Fighter and Darkstalkers characters. Like that's super fucking cool. And there's like some hidden characters you can unlock as well too. It's on like everything. I think now you can get it on for sure on Xbox because the Xbox Live Arcade version is backwards compatible. But I think it is also on PlayStation with the Capcom Fighting Game Collection and the Arcade Stadium. I think the Arcade Stadium is like you can buy it for like $2. Yeah, great game.
Nice.
Yeah, do you guys have any honorable mentions or like anything like that before we end this thing?
I will shout out the Plague Tale series. That would be my honorable mention, just because Andrew bugged me to play those games or play the first one for years. And so when the second one was about to come out, I finally played the original and I could not put it down. It was so good. More people should play those games.
Yeah, that's a good shout out. I guess my honorable mention would be Dragon Ball Fighters. It was one of the only fighting games that I like actually got okay at online, like competitively, and I would just play it pretty much every night and go in and do a few matches here and there, and I had a ton of fun with that game.
Nice. My honorable mention would be Vampire Survivors because I've also put a lot of time into that game, and they're always adding more free shit to it and more, I guess, achievements if you're into achievements or trophies or whatever. But the Vampire Survivors is just that's definitely a turn your brain off and just move up, down, left, or right.
Yep.
Well, yeah, this was a good episode. I was not at all prepared to solo host this thing, so I hope you guys had a great time.
Yeah,
it was fun. Thanks for having us.
Good job. Yeah,
absolutely, guys. What's one more time? Where can people find your you guys and your show and stuff on social medias and all that?
Yeah, so the best place to keep up with us is fngamers.com. That's our website. It has everything on it, but it'll take you to our YouTube channel, our podcast, we're Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. And then we have a Discord server that if you are interested in joining, you can feel free. But yeah, it's all there on the website. Best place to find it all. And then you can go from there and look around and see what stuff suits you.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Same for us, superpodsaga.com, previous episodes, blog, all that stuff. Check us out. Check these guys out. That's the show. I don't know what topic Tommy has picked for the next episode, so I can't really plug anything here. But
It's a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Will we talk about all the Spider-Man games? Will we talk about our favorite Flash games? I don't know. Neither will you. But find out next time on Super Pod Saga.